this session more interactive because we are all professors. I've been teaching, since more than 30 years now. I was with NIB and Institute of Bank Management before joining IIT Bombay. So I have almost 30 years of, experience in teaching also. So you can feel free, to ask me any question. And basically, as a technologist, see, one of the advantage when you know the technology, you can better tune your profession, right? And the things have changed. I think if you see in past, like when I joined my bachelor in computer science, it was like just a floppy PC with floppy drives. I still remember it was a 360 KB floppy drive, and now you see where the things are going. If you are attending lessons, recently what Nvidia has launched, they have launched a chip which has almost 92 billion transactions on that chip, and something they are talking about, you can have almost a chip which can be programmed for local LLMs, which can have literally billions of parameters on which you can train your own LLM. So see the power, I think it has changed a lot, and what I'll do, this is my agenda. And please feel free to ask me any question in between, since if I am in a full PPT mode, I may not see questions, but just speak at any point of time. I want it more interactive. You can ask me any question and respond. So my agenda for presentation will be how the technology has evolved so far, because it's not only AI. There are other techniques like Dr. Ward has already mentioned AR, VR, and so on. So you should AR digital twins. So unless until you have automation done, your basic things are in place, your operational systems are in place, you're not going to do AI better. But you cannot just start with the AI. So very simple example. If your all systems are automated through ERPs and CRM, you are getting a lot of data, and then you can build a lot of analytics and AI on the top of that. Okay, so that's very must. AI sits on top of all this. You should have the data. Without data, AI becomes completely, not that useful. And your data has to be clean also. Data has to be very clear. So what I'll just talk about how the technology has evolved over the years, because it's very imperative to understand what is the impact on AI and how other technologies are fueling, like cloud technology. Without cloud technology, you cannot have AI in a big scale. So that plays very important role. Unless until you have IoT and AR, VR, you cannot have a digital twin. So these are all technologies need to be put together. You must have heard about the word ACID. Anybody heard about ACID? It used to be SMART, like social, mobile, then cloud computing and so on. But now a lot of people are talking about A for artificial intelligence, C for cloud computing, I for Internet of Things, and D for data. Data includes cloud and everything. So things like because I teach to practitioners, I teach to business school, so I take a lot of case studies how businesses are using artificial intelligence and digital and other technologies which are actually helping them in digital transformation. So, okay, so that's what I will talk about the AI, evolution of technology. Then brief history. I think some of you must be knowing AI is not something new. The first definition of AI was coined in 1955 by John McCarthy. This one. And before that, even you must have heard about the Alan Turing. He was a British mathematician. If you are interested, you can see that Enigma movie, because he built a machine which could break the code of Germans, because it is part of World War II and so on. So he coined the term intelligent machines, long back, almost in early 50s and so. So AI for us is not something new, but a lot of things have happened recently, which has completely changed the paradigm shift. I think, and LLMs is one of the disruptive technology because, for example, I did my PhD in artificial intelligence from 1996 to 2000, and I was using MATLAB. Basically, I was trying to put database management system, then expert system, as well as genetic algorithm and artificial neural networks together, so you can actually solve the problem in better way. Rather than just using only one technique, you can use combination. So that was my PhD that time. But you see, the things have changed. The Python has changed a lot of things. A lot of democratization of technology has happened. Otherwise, when I was working on AI, I was just limited by only MATLAB and SAS and kind of packages. But now you have R, you have Python, and there are so many APIs and tools and techniques. There are very specialized tools also available, so you can leverage them. Then I will talk about education ecosystem where we are all working. I think most of you are professors, almost 90% or even 99%. So what is our educational ecosystem? Professor Nandukar has already mentioned, ecosystem and how AI can help in ecosystem. Because when you say ecosystem, there are stakeholders. For example, like student, teachers, parents, then there are regulators, there are directors, and so on. So this makes a content developer, content creator, there are a lot of players who are actually part of educational ecosystem. And we'll see how AI can play a role for everybody. Like one of the simple things, like when Dr. What mentioned, is a personalized education. So why education should be just one to me? Now it's possible. In fact, when I mentor the student, I say you don't have to always depend on the teachers now. You can substantiate your lot of knowledge using YouTubes and Coursera. There's so many, contents available online where the students can actually supplement their knowledge. Gone are the days like, in 80s and 90s, the student, they had to depend on the teachers, but that's not the case now. They can do a lot of assignment. They can see a lot of even NPTEL videos. I think you must be knowing NPTEL videos, and there are a lot of contents available, like vocational contents. I was looking at some of the NCERT websites, and I was just, happy that there are a lot of contents which are meant for vocational. So I was just looking for some technology, like for example, fiber optic, some content I was looking. So I see the contents are very, very like precise. They are very concise. They are very relevant to if somebody wants to just understand and do some practice, they don't have to go into theory because typical engineering books, they have a lot of theory behind fiber optic, so or even networking. But from the practice point of view, or it is a job oriented, you really don't need to go into much details. You should be knowing what that technology, how it works, what are the problems, how to diagnose the problem. That should be enough, instead of going into much detail and so on. And then we'll discuss how a way forward, how can you use this. Well, I have extensively worked on ChatGPT since 8 9 months, and my experience has been wonderful. It's not only helping your productivity. Like if you want to do a research, now research you can expedite. I will show you some of the examples if the time permits. Now, what you do for months together, now you can do it in days. So the productivity, even coding, if you want to develop some program, you don't have to rely on developers much. Of course, you should know the code generated by ChatGPT is right or wrong, and you should be expert in it. Like suppose you are using, like ChatGPT or say Cloud A or Gemini, you should know like whatever output is generated by them, it makes sense or not. You can just run it and see whether the results are proper or not, or there's
Agora
something
vai,
wrong there.
vai, estourou não, me vai girar.
Can you just please switch off your mics? Please. That's my request. Okay, so this is just a quick overview of how the technology has changed, because it's very important to understand where the AI fits into and how other technology is actually helping AI. So if you see on the left hand side, it was like a technology was more computer centric, computer centric, what we call. Then it become a network and sorry, I have actually copied from some other my other PPTs. So sometimes you see there is a displacement of some word and so on. Okay. And then it becomes human centric. Now technology has become a device centric. So device can talk to each other. You can talk to device or device can talk to you. For example, you see Siri or you see Alexa. So if you see Alexa as an example, so who is talking to you? Machine is talking to you. Or when you call to automated centers, you are actually communicating with machines. So that has become more, machine to machine kind of interaction, display. So right from mainframes to standalone PCs to computer server, client server architecture, then internet came into picture, and that's why a lot of internet-based technologies, then we have mobile robotic process automation, cloud computing, web 2.0, business analytics, APIs played complete change, because what is the advantage of APIs? You don't need to worry about what platform you are using behind the scenes. You can just know how to invoke an API and can get your things done. And now we are in AI ML, agent for computing, industry 4.0, IoTs, AR, VR, blockchain. Then you have 5G, 3D printing, Web 3.0, LLMs, AI agents. In fact, just to get you the feel, like, Madeline, I was just referring to some of the, like this one. Uh, you can see my screen, right? Entire screen. So this is like AI leads a service as a software. I think you must have heard about the word software as a service. All of us have heard. Right? Like basically, what is the advantage of software as a service? You don't if you want to say use only particular function of a software, or you want to use the software for specific period, or you don't want to get an entire license for your software, you can actually go online. Gmail is good example of that, and there are a lot of go.com, lot of online websites which provide you, for example, project management as a service, payroll as a service. There are a lot of, like, even you can make a PPT, you can make a logo. There are a lot of software as a services are possible. But now this article is very recent one. AI needs a service as a software paradigm shift. So what they are talking about, like instead of hiring a person, can you hire a server, software? And if you see the impact, what they are talking about, it represents almost 4.6 trillion opportunity. Now you can imagine what is meant by 4.6 trillion requirement. And this is important. AI eats the software. You must have heard about the word. The software, sorry, software eats the word. Now AI is eating the software, and now it is salaries and services. And if you see some of the statistics, what they're talking about, like take an example of a Salesforce.com. I think most of you must be in Salesforce.com. They have been the early player in a application service provider in a cloud, since long, almost I think 2000 only they started this one. So basically they do a lot of Salesforce and CRM automation and so on. So what they are talking about, if you listen to some of the statistics, they said think of this way: Salesforce, one of the most successful software companies of all the time, generates only 35 billion in revenue and grow incremental. That means if you are a software player and you are making 35 billion in revenue, now global companies spend 1.1 trillion on sales and marketing salaries each other. So size of opportunity for AI disruption in many multiples larger than Salesforce could ever be. That means if you develop a lot of agents, I think some of you might have heard about the AI agent. So basically, what a person does, can an AI agent do? So you want to book some tickets, or you want to get your work done. Hey, suppose you want to say, I want to create a PPT. Tomorrow I have a lecture, and this is my content of the PhD. Can you just sorry PPT? Can you just create a PPT for me? Or suppose you want to create an MCQs, you can say, okay, these are the contents I covered. Can you just cover and sorry, can you create an MCQs for me? So it actually makes it much faster, right? This one. So this is complete, changing the way the things are done. This is just to show what's happening in the current this one. And a lot of organizations, they're actually talking about digital first, or AI first, or mobile first. What is meant by that? AI first means everything they will do AI first. This one. Ready to be disrupted, be resilient, explore new business opportunities. I think similar thing should happen in education. Do education also. I think industry it's going to be disrupted, even like a healthcare and so on. And one of the opportunity I see a lot of personalization, because what I was talking about is most of the education right now is one to many. Like we go to class and we teach. Suppose there are 60 students sitting in front of us, everybody we teach the same way. But then it depends on the student, his level of understanding, his pace of learning, that we don't bother about it. But if you have AI-based learning, individuals can actually learn. And recently, I conducted 12 hours course on, for IAM Indore on digital transformation for practitioners. And Times EduTech company, they conducted the exam. That exam was more proctored exam. Now you see this is advantage, because you can be sitting at home. You don't have to be in all people in the class. The people can be sitting anywhere. Just like you are sitting, all 230 people, you are at retrospective, respective places, and you are just listening to me. So similarly, can the exam be conducted the same way? Like you can attempt an exam sitting wherever you are. Only the exam should make sure that you are not cheating or something like that. And what they do, they have cameras, and cameras actually continuously monitor you. I know, because the cameras can detect your movement. Like if you are looking at the left, right, or you are reading something, the camera will immediately flag it out, and it says, okay, this, and it gives, like when I assess the student, it gives some rating. It says this person credibility is high, this person's credibility is low. So what is meant by credibility low? that the student who is attempting the exam, he's not looking at the screen, he's looking here and there, and it captures. For example, if you're looking for 5 minutes here and there, the AI will say, okay, this person has a less credibility. Now, what is the advantage here? Again, n is equal to 1, education is possible. You can actually have a specific tailor-made kind of teaching for a student based on the student progress. You can even judge the students. I think intelligent tutoring was there since almost more than 30 decades now. This one. So, what is intelligent tutoring? Is you just make sure that the pace of change or the pace of learning of a student is as per what student is picking up, and you can actually give more assignments or very you can even have an intelligent exam. Suppose there are 5 questions which are relatively at a tougher level and candidate could answer only two. Can you just change the level of complexity? You can go to level 2 so that the system automatically adopts to it. So these are examples where I think AI was used since long and so on. Okay, so you should have a strategy. AI first, digital first in education also. No, like principles. He said like Professor Nandarkar, like it's not only AI in teaching but AI in administration also. Because can you just make everybody's work more efficient? Can you give that wow factor to student, wow factor to parents, like how parents play a role? For example, if their wards are actually, whatever like analytics is shown, like what about the attendance, what about the progress, and you can tell on a proactive basis, okay, your student needs to pick up some math skills or some tech skill based on that can be helpful to parents also, but they can then view the progress of the kid and accordingly they can actually advise or have more coaching or something like that, okay, this is on technology. And again, just to if you look at that, the technology was more monolithic. It became enterprise, like ERP system came into picture, and then system was more integrated and extended, like for example net banking system is not only used by the banks, but it is used by us also. Like we are part and parcel of our system. And then system become more like Web 2.0. They became more social, collaborative. It is not like a one-way dissemination, but people are. And why this social plays very important role? Because as a teacher, we should be able to accept, like if you have taken a session and somebody sharing a feedback or somebody sharing, you should be positive about it. Like I think most of the colleges now have this feedback system. The students actually give the feedback about the teaching kind of, and it helps the like as an individual teacher and so on. Okay, on a database side, I think you see like here also a lot of things have like we started with the file-based system, and then databases, then data mining and data warehouse came into picture, big data and data lake. This one. So here also things have completely changed, right? From more structured to more unstructured, and the volume became very huge. And after emergence of I think social media, a lot of contents are generated. You see, you can imagine how much of content Facebook must be generating in a day. YouTube is another example where the contents are generated in a huge way, this one. But what needs like if you take YouTube as an example, so how you can leverage as a teacher YouTube. Okay, what I do in my class, like I include a lot of videos in my PPT, and that I have been doing almost more than 15 years. So what I do, for example, I take some case studies, or I take some CIOs interviews, or I take, for example, there is an interesting case how Starbucks is using IoT, blockchain, and AI. It's very 7 minutes, very interesting video, which talks about how they have done, what they have done, and what are the technologies behind. So what I mean here, as a teacher, I go through a lot of videos and I find some videos very relevant to my students. I will just add that video there, so that when I click on that video actually runs, so that student can actually see how the practitioners or how the things actually happen on the ground. Because see, you should always help the student to get more practical sense of what you are talking about. Otherwise, it just becomes only a typical bookish knowledge. No, you have to explain the student, look, this is the concept. Second, database management system. So when you are teaching a database management system, teach in more practical way. Like suppose you want to create a regularization system, or you want to say create an attendance management system. So what is the database you should be creating? Then how many tables there should be? How these tables will be connected to each other? Why you need a foreign key? Why you need a primary key? And why your data type are more important. Like when you are taking a student ID, whether it should be a number or within number, whether it should be a long integer or short integer. So you can explain the database concept by taking some case and going further. And good thing is now you don't have to really create a database and show to the student. A chat GPT is there, because for example, recently I conducted one of the sessions and I showed students, like if you want to develop I took very simple example. Let's say you want to develop a software for a AMC, annual maintenance contract firm. Suppose you are a company, small company, which is actually, helping people to manage their, like IT infrastructure. So I just asked ChatGPT, I'm actually planning to develop such kind of software. Can you tell me what are the database table it should have? And it started creating. And again, what you can do, suppose you are teaching MySQL, you can select a MySQL as a database. If you are teaching Oracle, you can select Oracle. In fact, Gen AI translates from one database to another, just like it is doing for a language, like it can translate one language to another language. It does it for databases also. So if you are explaining student database management concept through MySQL, you can choose MySQL as an example. If you are doing through, say, SQL Server, you can do SQL Server. So what is the advantage? Because if your class is, see, similarly object oriented program. So if you are teaching object, see, I have seen, I'm on a board of studies of some of the universities and so on. So sometimes I see, like, recently I was reviewing one of the, institutes, engineering college syllabus. So ideally, like if you want to teach a C++, you should be teaching, object-oriented concept first. So as a teacher, we have to take a call, like, should we teach fundamentals of object-oriented first and then take to C++ or Java? Now, here, what is the advantage? Like, if you are teaching object-oriented concept, you don't need to write a code now. I mean, you can explain the code. So you can tell ChatGPT, hey, look, I want to create an object-oriented code for a shape. Can you just start creating? Okay, object oriented, ChatGPT will start creating a code. And if you say, okay, now I want to generate more classes, I want a circle, I want a rectangle, I want a square. Can you create a base class, inherited class for me? It will do it for you. Now you can add, I want to add some encapsulation, can you add some function which are meant for encapsulation? So not encapsulate, polymorphic, this one. So it will do it. Now, your time to deliver will be drastically reduced because you don't have to write everything on, a whiteboard or something. Just make the chat GPT create a content for you and you can go on explaining. You're getting my point, I hope. Like, for example, creating a database manually is going to take a lot of time. Okay? Suppose there are five, six tables, so you will write create table, what is the name of the field. Then you don't need because you can just tell, say for example, I think simultaneously I'll just show you some quick demo also, so you can appreciate what I'm talking about. Can you see my chat GPT screen?
Yes, sir.
So let's start. You want to create a simple database. So can say just can you create a simple MySQL database for say uh, school management system in MySQL. So you can specify what data, right? So I'm just putting that. Okay. So it says here is a simple MySQL database scheme for student management. Okay, it covers basic. Okay, let's see. This is a now it started here, right? And you can see what are the outcome generated by ChatGPT. Okay, it's generated. Okay, so it is just meanwhile it creates. I just say first thing it created a student. It says student, it says auto increment, first name, middle name, date of birth, gender, you can specify, address, phone, okay, email, everything created. Then it says teacher because these are the main stakeholders, right? Student, future, admission, courses is there, classes are there, enrollments, attendance, like that. Okay, now what it means. Now, if you want to explain the concept of DBMS, this can be the better way now. So you can explain, okay, what is mean by auto increment? Why ChatGPT has taken as an auto increment? What is the purpose of auto increment? so that you don't have to maintain IDs, because whenever a new student is added, the next ID is automatically given. Okay, now date of birth, like all this. So minimum student information, but however, you can go on adding to that. Suppose you want more information about the student, so you want to have some ID proof. So you can say, okay, add some ID proof to student table. So ChatGPT will just go on adding and so on. Similarly, teachers, similarly, and then if you want to draw a diagram, how you can actually do that. So now from this database you can actually create. Now you want to explain the concept of foreign key. So here you can do it well. For example, if you take a classes have courses and who is teaching that course. So you can explain the student, look, there is a connection between courses and classes because when the class is taught, it is taught by.
बोलो हेलो हेलो सोना सर यू आर नॉट ऑडिबल सर हेलो हेलो
Is there a number to reach him in case we are not able to hear him?
ओके ओके हेलो हेलो सर यू आर म्यूटेड सोना सर
I'll just keep my video off. This one.
yeah
I
now
don't know.
it is audible.
Oh, sorry, I don't know where I got disconnected. But what I was trying to explain, like if I want to create a database in front of students, it would have taken a lot of time. So you can use ChatGPT just to create a database and explain the things. Now this has become much easier. Okay? You can take any case, like you can take any, for example, here you can take a LMS. So let's develop some LMS app or some mobile app, and what kind of database is required, and so on. And you can, for example, if you want to explain teacher further how you can break address into smaller parts, you can say, okay, you can have address like a city, state, then ChatGPT will do that. So, for example, if I ask ChatGPT, why don't you normalize address? Okay, now let's see how ChatGPT and why normalization is important because you can do a lot of this stuff. So it's now working on that. It says you are absolutely correct. The address field schema could be normalized to improve the consistency, reduce redundancy, and so on. Now see it is doing. It is actually dividing your address into city, state. So what is the advantage of converting into normalizing? Because you can search by city, you can search by zip code, and so on. You can even further tell ChatGPT, look, I have list of cities. You further normalize. So instead of using city, it will use city name. Okay. So similarly, suppose I ask ChatGPT, can you just create class shape in C++? Okay, let's talk about it. I'm shifting from DBMS to more programming language. Okay, so imagine this. I'm actually say discussing with student the concept of this one. So here is a simple implementation of class shaping. This one. Okay, now you can actually explain what is a protected, what is a public, why it has taken something as a protected. Now here it has taken, virtual method to calculate the area. Okay. You can go on adding. Suppose any attributes you want to add, you can actually add that. Get area. Now it is taken. Now here you can ask. For example. Okay, so now suppose if I just take. It has written a code. There is no need of explanation, so you can go through that. So you can say, okay, I want to like, or you can say circle, square, rectangle, can take many shape. I think it is doing something. Derived class, it's already doing that. Okay, there was no need actually. Okay, I just stop this. Okay, so it is creating a, like, for example, circle. But you can ask, like, you want to create, say, for example, rectangle and this one. And now what you can do, if you are teaching coding, this is just one example of when you are teaching coding. You can just take this code, use any C++ compiler and make it run. If there's some mistakes it is done, you can explain the student. This is where the ChatGPT has made a mistake. Okay, so this way you can actually use ChatGPT, when you are teaching the coding, and even for research. I'll come to that. How you can effectively teach. In fact, recently we got a lot of code written by ChatGPT, and you can even ask ChatGPT, why don't you write this code in JavaScript? It will do that. So that if somebody see, what is the advantage of that? If somebody knows C++, he can probably learn the Java much faster. Okay. Of course, some object-oriented concept may not be available in JavaScript, but it will try to develop some classes and something like that. So this is an output generator. Okay, so this is like way to increase your productivity. You don't really have to, and it may not be in a technical domain. It can be even a other domain also, because I see some of the faculty members are there from a humanities side and other sides. So you can actually use it for your this one. If you want to explain something, you can explain as a part of this. And I think you must be knowing, like, things are changing at a very fast pace, and then innovations are disrupting. Like, for example, long back, how Apple destroyed Finland's economy. Finnish Prime Minister blames Apple because blame has killed their smartphones. They will has blamed their this one also. And a lot of things. Since I teach to business school, I go on showing a lot of like what's happening. Some of the technology is completely outdated now. Like some of you might have seen the audio cassettes, but they no more exist. I think digital cameras will also be phased out. I have not written any inland letter on postcard letters since last 20, 25 years. GPS devices are gone because your mobile feels a lot of things and so on. And I think slowly a lot of biomedical devices will be coming, which will be connected to your mobile, and I think even your remotes will be available as an app. You don't need to have a remote control for you. There can be a universal app, and you can use that. This again technology play, like all of us have heard about Uber, Facebook, Alibaba, Airbnb. What's something interesting? World's largest taxi company owns no vehicle. World's most popular media owner creates no content. Okay. Let's like LinkedIn also. I think some of you must be on LinkedIn. What LinkedIn is doing? You and me are creating the content, and they are giving us a platform where if I want to update my profile, I can update. But like what was the valuation of LinkedIn? It was $25 billion when they got acquired by Microsoft. So basically, what they are doing, they're like Uber. Good example. Uber doesn't own any car, right? What they have done, they have made a platform available where people can do. So this is the power of platform. So when you are developing the digital platform, it actually this one. I think this all of us know. The things are changing. So this is important to understand, like how the things have moved. For example, more manual business process to more automation business processes, more manual work to physical to virtual, physical to digital product. Like good example is your book. So once you, and what are the advantage of once you move digital? Take an example of buying a book, physical book versus buying a PDF, or just reading it online through Kindle or through Google. What is the advantage? You can actually make the content searchable. Physical book is not searchable. You have to go to keyword and find out. But in digital, you can just have a control F and you can search anywhere. You can index it and you can just pay for what you are using. A good example of this is like journals. Online journals. You don't have to pay for upfront entire journal. Whatever article or whatever research paper you want to use, you can just pay for it, and it can be even personalized for you. Like for example, whenever I think you must be knowing, like if you have a subscription to ACM or Springer or elsewhere. So whenever you are downloading the copy, that copy becomes like, for example, when I'm downloading some Harvard case study, it says it is given to Professor Rajendra M. Sonar of this department of IIT Bombay, and it's valid from this time to this time. That means what you can do when you convert the physical products into digital products, you can even personalize them. You can augment them. So like during COVID days, I think you must have gone through, some of you must have gone through during the COVID, we taught to students sitting at home, right? And we use a lot of online editions, because physical books were not possible. So most of the, like I use Google, books online, even Kindle also. So what is the advantage? You can actually highlight any text. You can even, for example, add you can annotate also. You can put the links. So that's again, I don't know whether I have, but I'll tell you like, when you are teaching using, let me see whether I have that Google Books. So I can explain, when I was actually teaching books store, I hope I'm logged in. Okay, so let's see whether I have my library available. Okay, I think if you just click on that, it opens the copy and then you can actually manage this copy. I am not able to see my copies here. I don't know whether it's because of logged in or this one. But then whatever textbooks you want to, you can just buy them online, and during the class you can actually just go through that and explain that. That becomes much easier. You can include the video links also. You can jump to any content you want, so it becomes much easier. So that means teaching online. See, what is the what is the plus and minus of online versus offline? As Dr. Ward said, there has to be some interaction. That's possible, but what are the limitations of physical one to one? You cannot cover many contents, but in a digital media, probably you can include a lot of things. Like you can include videos and everything, and you can probably do a lot of things simultaneously. This one, which are limitations in this. Okay, so the navigation is possible, personalization is possible, everything can be customized, it can be augmented. This one. Okay, so these are something which are going on. And then from manual asset management to smart asset management, I think you must have heard about the 3D printing also. So it's moving from more centralized manufacturing to moving this one. So things are this is again, a lot of people are breaking. Like if you listen to Satya Nadella, when actually he became a CEO, first thing he did, he broke the entire Microsoft whatever source code into smaller codes. Because if you develop a lot of monolithic code, it becomes quite difficult to reuse. So a lot of people are going for microservices and API. So each microservice does the job independently. And you can increase the scalability and everything. Then moving from physical meeting to virtual meeting, I think it has its own advantage because you can reach to masses. It saves a lot of money, because don't have to travel. And so, for example, suppose you are attending some talk online, say webinar. What is the advantage? You can be sitting and it saves your money, it saves your time, and even you can take the notes online. And if your webinars are available, you can just play the video any smaller, and later on you can value add with a lot of inter like links and everything. Like in my presentation, I have a lot of links also. You can actually go through them later on, based on your another, like cinema theater versus Netflix. I think most of you must be using Netflix. It becomes more personalization. You can watch wherever you are, whenever you want, and so on. Okay, so I'll just skip some of the things like you already know what's happening in IT. So this is like important slides, and that's what more and more granularity, integration, augmentation, virtualization, and AI plays very important role. Like uh, uh, if you see the Netflix and Amazon, what they are known for, like maybe a little bit interactive. What do you like? What is something uh, Netflix is known for apart from the content delivery? What do you feel, or what do you think?
Sir, I think it gives you your favorite movies. So I think kind of the movies that you would like to watch. So I think they use AI in that.
So basically, if you look at, so for example, physical cinema versus like, see what happens. You like a movie. Suppose that movie is produced in 70s. You may not get in physical, cinema halls. It's like when you go to a crossword versus you go to Amazon. In crossword, you may not get what book you are looking for, but Amazon, there is a 99% chance that you will get that book on Amazon. So if you have heard about the concept called, long tail. So if I just tell, okay, ChatGPT, what is long tail? Is very important word, what is the long tail?
Long tail or mock tail? What is the spelling?
It's a long tail. Okay, so long tail is basically like, in a physical world, you have limitation on the content. Okay, so let's take an example. You are selling the DVDs, right? And one of the malls gives you a small space, 5 by 5 space. So what you will do, you will try to sell which is more selling, like trending, right? But what happens, a person who has interest in 80s movies, 60s movies, you may not have. So indirectly, what you are doing, you are actually losing a business. That means and in digital world, what happens, you have lot of contents available. So in Amazon, or sorry, in Prime Video or in Netflix, what I get, it helps me to find out what I like, and it automatically recommends. Suppose I like sci-fi movies, it automatically. So where it can be used even in a education, for example, if you are reading a book and you have interest in a book, can I show you the books which are very relevant? Suppose you are a person who likes marketing, within marketing you like a branding, within branding you like a specific author, so can I just show you the content based on your interest? So this long tail practice, like e-commerce player like Netflix, Spotify, they all do that. So bottom line is, it's a highly personalized, and more personalization you do, see why it matters. It demonstrates the potential of profitability by catering to diverse and niche market, not just a mainstream audience. It enables businesses to leverage digital platform. See what happens. Suppose you are a digital platform, or you're an online book platform. You are a edutech company, or you have a lot of contents available. No, unless and until you tell customers, hey, look, I have this content with me, which you like. Now that is only possible when you do personalization recommendation, right? Unless and Netflix understand I'm a person who like 60s movie, who like comedy movie, who like where there were actors like, for example, Johnny Walker or something. Or suppose let me made you say, okay, you like a particular actor, like for example, Paresh Rawal. So it should understand, hey, you are a person who likes Hindi comedy. Within that, okay, you are a person who likes Paresh Rawal's movie, and you can take a theme also, like within this one. Now, if you go on showing me something I like, I'm going to go more. So can you just do similar personalization even in education? So that means if a student is actually reading something interesting, topic, can you just personalize it? Okay. Oh, this is next for you. This is something, value add to what you are looking for. So this personalization concept can be, used in the, see what happens, like if you look at the AI technologies, the basics remain same. It all depends on how you actually use it for your domain. Take a very simple example, PPT. Take a simple example of MS Excel. So MS Excel, the way finance person uses, the way HR person uses, the way we use, it depends on our domain knowledge or what functions I want to do. So finance person will use it for portfolio management, HR person will use it for manpower management, we will use it for attendance and other purpose. Okay, that means, but you should know what this Excel is all about, what it does, and then you can actually connect. And in AI also you have to do that. You have to understand AI at a grassroots level, what kind of problem AI solves, how it solves, like what kind of natural language processing it does. For example, let's take Alexa. Alexa is more voice-based channel, like Siri. So can I use Siri in my domain? Can I develop a chatbot for my students? So, for example, if I'm teaching a particular course, can I just go now LLM and create a chatbot for my students? So if they are asking, they are looking for some help, they can immediately get it. So, for example, if you are teaching a networking subject, computer networking, so students say, oh, what is called as an intranet? So can say, or students say, oh, tell me what about the intranet? So it should, just like this chat GPT is telling me. So can you just develop some chatbot on top of your content that you are delivering? Or there are some third-party chatbots are available. Can you just integrate it? Just like Dr. Ward also was talking about assessment. Can you use it for assessment? In fact, there are quite a number of companies who are actually trying to use LLMs to compare your specimen for it is basically for a descriptive question. Suppose, and in fact, I just tell you, I just uploaded a PPT and it created a complete MCQ for me. Okay, I'll just show you that I have it somewhere. Okay, so suppose I'm covering some 25 PPTs. Okay, then what it let me see, let me type it. Little. Okay, so what I did, I just put like I have covered one. This is DTC1 session. I have these slides which I teach. Can you create an MCQ kind of quiz on this? Okay, so it created. Okay, no, that means suppose you have 1 hour of class and you have say 50 PPTs, but you could cover only say 25 PPTs. No, just go to ChatGPT and tell the chat GPT, look, this is a PowerPoint presentation I covered, but I covered only first 20 slides. Just create a quick MCQ for you. It just creates it. You have to, of course, validate whether it is messing up or something. But what is the advantage here? Your time of creating quiz drastically reduces. And then what you do, if you have an LMS system, you just see again, you are now when you have a lot of AI tools, you need to connect those AI tools to your operational system. That means you have to suppose you have an LMS like Moodle or any LMS system which allows you to run the MCQs. What you do, you just integrate this through some API directly into your this one. I was just attending one of the Harvard professor this one uh, webinar on how AI can be used for a teaching. And he actually in a live environment he showed. For example, he actually generated a quiz. He connected that quiz to the LMS system, and LMS system immediately asked the question like MS Teams. If you have MS Teams also can have a quiz. So it ran the quiz, and in 5 minutes it gets a complete analytics also. So how many? See, as a teacher, what is your advantage? Suppose I have these 10 questions. No, at the end, most of the guys have not done well. Most of the student, like average score out of 10, student have only say for example got maximum 15 marks. So what it means? Either there is some problem, that means as a teacher you are not done your job well, or it was too complex to understand for the student. So from the test you can get immediate feedback also, and that's why analytics system comes into play. So you're getting AI just happens to be one part of it. See, take a human body. When I'm talking to you and when I'm say looking at this screen, my brain is working. But what are the devices which are helping the brain? Is my eyes. They become like a camera, and my brain is so. That means these are all operational things. Like if I touch some hot surface, my sensors immediately tell to this part. Or so all these are integrated. So that means when you are using AI cannot be used in silos. So that's my take. You have to take it home. Like you have to understand your LMS system. You have to understand your AI tool, and then you have to know how to connect them together. Otherwise, you cannot just have an online piece. Okay, unless until all these are synchronized. So here advantage is you can have a quick assessment of the student. Okay? Like if you have 1 hour of lecture, you can probably spend last 10 minutes on running a quiz to understand whether the students have understood it or not. It makes sense. And it's a quick
आणि मला त्या
assessment.
PPT वरून पोरांना MCQ द्यायचे. मी AI ला सांगाल ही माझी
Hello.
PPT आहे.
Hello,
मला एक MCQ
participant.
बनवून
Please
दे. ते लगेच
mute
बनवून
yourself.
देतं.
Let them ask the question. Yeah. So
ChatGPT
what is
ChatGPT सगळं देतात. तुला तर जर पाहिजे ना, तू असं ChatGPT ला
Hello.
म्हणली ना,
Hello.
अरे तू ChatGPT ला
Hello,
म्हणली ना, I
participant.
want recipe of मेथी लगेच देईल.
फीडबैक आया हुआ लंग रुक जाओ फीडबैक जरिए मैं चलूं क्या भरूं क्या
Hello, participants.
you
Please
can
mute
mute
yourself.
everybody.
हैं?
Okay, just please no cross talk, please. If respond. If you have any question, please ask me. So what I was trying to tell you, like you can try to use ChatGPT to improve your productivity in teaching as well as conducting the exam quickly. In fact, some people are even trying to build AI system which actually even checks your descriptive questions. So, for example, here these 10 questions were MCQs. But can I just tell ChatGPT, can you create brief descriptive question? Just I'm asking in front of you, which can be answered in few lines or in couple of lines. Because you don't want to increase your pain of checking. Okay, just I'm asking. So see. So this is interesting. What is the difference between information system and information technology? Explain the role of IT in business ecosystem. What does CRM system enable? So now here, what it has done, you can check GPT. Can you create a sample answers for this? It can do. Okay. So if I say, can you? Okay. You don't do it. Okay. See. Now what is the next you need to do? You have to have some LLM system or even ChatGPT can also do that. Suppose there are 50 students in your class and you are creating this one. Now, what is the best way you can do? You can actually have 1 hour of exam. Okay, it can be a online kind of, but you have to be proctored kind of exam. You cannot just do. And then you can actually tell ChatGPT, look, you can you just match the answers given by the students with your answer? Possible. And you can even tell the confidence, like, look, my exam minimum marks are 0, maximum marks are 100. And just give the marks to them, and it will do it for you. Now, you can imagine it's not only MCQs, but you can actually have a descriptive question because it will try to intelligently match the answer. Of course, it is not a foolproof 100%, but what I believe, even if it does your 80% of the job and you have to just glance through, see what is basically it should improve your productivity. If for 50 students, if I just have 10 descriptive questions, I'm going to end up with a lot of my time. So what I can do, I can just quickly glance through what is an outcome given. Is there any mistake the chat GPT is making? If it is making, I can revise it kind of. Okay, so here what is the advantage? You are actually increasing your productivity to great level by using this kind of interface, to quickly this one. And again, I just tell you my own. Recently I conducted, I just take healthcare. Okay. Now this is actual scenario when I last, it just come. Sorry, history. Just a minute. I think it is somewhere here. Let me check first. Okay, we'll just do that. And so what I did actually, I asked ChatGPT, look, I'm running an exam, so let's say I'll start with a new project. Okay, so now I'm saying, okay, I'm conducting case study based test for my students. You can specify which kind of students because ChatGPT understand the context. So you can say my students were MBA students, right? And you can say information system. So I'm conducting a case study based test for my student for MBA for information systems course. Can you brief? Okay, can you create a brief, case study? You can specify whether you want to do it on healthcare or whatever. You can specify, or you want to it on a manufacturing. You can spend. You can specify the case study should not be. Or you can say case study should be maximum 4 5 paragraphs. Okay. So now what it will do, it will start creating a case study for you. Okay. So that means suppose you are teaching say C++ coding or you are teaching say like Java coding and you say okay I want to create an assignment for my students. Okay. Now can you just create? So look at this. Healthcare, mid-size healthcare provider operates in a network of hospitals. They take 50 years over the organization has struggled, inefficiencies. Okay. Now problem statement. You can be very specific here. For example, you can ask ChatGPT, okay, these are the information systems I'm covering. Okay, just ask only questions on that. Okay. So here you can even talk about like what kind of questions, like whether you want to include AI, ML or something. So what is advantage of all this? It saves my lot of time because I used to spend a lot of time in creating case studies. Now ChatGPT is helping to case study so that you can take any domain you want, you can create a complete content, and you can even ask the questions I'm not able to find, but I did very interesting this one. So it actually helped me to get entered and even for example see the discussion point. See what steps should a healthy life can take to ensure the successful implementation of electronic health record system. Can the organization address? In fact, what you can do, suppose you want to have very specific case study, you can actually mention, look, in my PPT, these are the 10 topics I have covered. Okay, it can be a knowledge management system, it can be a supply chain or whatever. And then tell ChatGPT, look, when you are creating a case study, these are the 10 points you should be remembering. And it will do the job very well. Now you can tell ChatGPT, look, you have these 10 topics on which you have created a health. Can you just create a questions covering all these topics? So that is a fair to students, right? Because if the student have done 10 topics and you are just asking many questions on only one topic, it's not fair on our part as a teacher, right? Or as a question paper setter. So it will do that job. Okay? So and later on, as I said, you can tell the ChatGPT create some MCQs also. So you can even do that. Can you create some MCQs in the case study? You can do it. That means if you want to have a mixture of this, you can possibly do that. See, what is the primary challenge faced by healthcare due to fragmented data system? What is the main goal of implementing electronic health record? I here again as a teacher, what is the advantage? It reduces the work drastically. Okay, I'll just tell you some example in for a research purpose. Before we go to more details into AI. Okay. Okay, I'm just changing the context. Let. So this is again helpful. If you are doing some research or something, I think ChatGPT is going to help you a lot. So I'll just tell you my example. Recently, we were actually conducting one research project. Basically, we want to assess what makes a faculty to start their own company. So, like if you take my example, I started my first startup in IIT Bombay in 2005 on AI, but I was too early. People were not knowing about AI. Okay, so we were trying to find out how what makes a faculty to start a company, what motivates the faculty, what are the challenges the faculty faces, what are the support system is provided by IITs and so on. So what we did, we conducted the interviews. Okay, and then we so Professor Bhargav is one of the professor in, sorry, I'll just take over. So one of the engineering professor in IIT Bombay. So we took interview. We sat with him almost 1.5 hours. And what we did, we tried to convert that audio into more, text, and we created a PDF. And we told ChatGPT, we are conducting a research study on faculty entrepreneurship, especially focusing on folks who are involved in starting their own ventures while continuing in academics. As a part of this, we have taken interviews of quite a professors and converted them into text. Uploaded is one of the such transcripts. Now you need to understand the conversation. Like there are three people, P. Bhargav, RM Sonar, who is the professor answering the question, and Yuraj asked the question. Okay, now this is where it actually understands. Okay, now here what you can do, you can say we have following things. What are the drivers, barriers, challenges, institutional support, government support, social and professional networks, and individual characteristics. You have to help to categorize the transcript into about themes and highlight the keywords. Now see it did. And then what we did, we actually one by one did it for example, we told, please do the same kind of analysis for transcript. So he's a professor of, I think IIT Madras. And there are a lot of people, And then finally what we did, we tried to understand over the this one, and it created a complete comprehensive table. Okay, like every professor. Now you see, if you want to do the same thing using your formal research, it could have taken months. Not only that, we actually asked ChatGPT, can you create a recommendations for us? Like when a budding entrepreneur, he wants to take up a like professor who wants to go for entrepreneurship, what are the things he should be, what are the challenges he should be ready, and it created a very nice this one. So what I'm trying to say here, even for your research or even creating your educational material, it can help you a lot, this one. So that's what only you should how you should know how to use it more effectively. Like I'll just show you some of the examples where we got a complete software written, like I'll just tell you very recently, you know not only that, your business plan, like suppose you want to start some business, or you have some you want to say enter into some you want to assess, like if I start a business in this, what is an opportunity in something, and it actually does, it actually helps to do that. Okay, to tell you some very simple example so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Or even this, look at this. Okay, so actually we asked ChatGPT, we have an hyper app development platform. It has its own rule engine and a lot of components. We are looking for some open source graphical tool like a drag and drop. Okay, now it went on suggesting that. Okay, there are a lot of open source tools, you can personally see that in this one. Okay, now what happened? Like somehow these tools were not that because we wanted, we could have ended up a lot of time and so on. Now look at this. So we told ChatGPT, since these tools are not suitable for us, can you help us to create a simple drag and drop tool at client side using HTML? See, here again is important. What I'm telling ChatGPT, hey, look, use HTML5, use Bootstrap, and use JavaScript. So indirectly, what I'm doing, I'm actually restricting ChatGPT to only create the front end coding. No backend coding, only front end. That too using HTML5. And good thing about all these Gen AI tools, they understand the technical word better. Even you see, Ask My Database, we have used it for extensively in SQL. You don't really have to write the queries now. There are a lot of agents are available, SQL agents and LangChain. If you go through, this one, so you just upload your database or you just connect database through NLP. See, one of the good thing has happened in natural language processing LLM. It has seamlessly connected technical word with the English word. You might have heard the word English is a new coding language. I said English is not only new coding language. English is a language for everything. Because what you need to know? You need to know good English. That's all. So here, if I don't know the English, I cannot write it properly. If I cannot write it properly, what happens? The Gen AI will not understand what I'm talking about. If I mess up with the spelling, I mess up with the grammar, it will misinterpret, right? Because if I'm giving a not proper tenses and I'm saying, okay, he sent instead of he sent. Okay, so there is a difference, right? Similarly, when I'm using Gen AI, I should be a technically competent person. For example, here I'm talking about HTML5 and I'm talking about the bootstrap. You can even specify bootstrap version, whether you want to have 5.0 or something, and JavaScript. So that means I should be a person who should be knowing this very fairly to great extent because whatever outcome generated by ChatGPT, it should make sense, right? Now here I'm actually saying, okay, it should have symbols like a rectangle for process and so on. Okay, it starts coding. Look at this first code. Okay, and then you can actually run this code by copying it. Okay, and it is making so for example connections are. I'll just show you this tool. What this tool looked like. You can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is a tool we got developed. Okay, so you can put entity, you can put you can connect to them. Hmm. Like this, you can change. For example, if I want to change this relationship, I can actually select and I can say, okay, I want to change the path. I want to change to arc. Okay, it changes to arc. Okay, so I let me check whether I have some diagram which I can show directly. Okay, so there are some diagrams created. Let me open some diagrams. Stop for downloads. Okay, I think there are some ER diagrams. We don't have more. So bottom line is we got see whatever this and this is very customizable by the way. You can actually increase, you can change a lot of things. So this is flow. You can you can do this for ERDs. You can do for other diagrams also because it's customizable. Everything is customizable. This one. So what exactly we got it done through ChatGPT is this one. Okay, so we went through this and almost 500 lines of code we got it developed. You need a patience because it takes time, but then it saves a lot of. And again, if you look at the code generated by ChatGPT, this is very clean and neat code. You see every code that you are going to see here. Let me show you some JavaScript code. Look at this code. So it's very readable code because if you have developers, they create. So it says function create rectangle. It's easier you to understand. Okay, so it gives the proper names, it gives everything so that the code get generate. Now here there will be three types of code. One is HTML code, one is JavaScript code, and another is CSS code. Okay, so HTML code it will show you separately. Okay, so you need to create some HTML file where you need to insert this, and you can actually run this. Now tell me if I wanted to do the same thing using, and again, the interesting part of, we were not knowing there is an interesting open source called as a leader line. A lot of graphical tool use it. Okay. So for example, here, if I want to change to arc and I want to select, you can do for all. Not only that, I can actually change, for example, what is the start plug, end plug, what is the arrow, everything you can change. So here we were not knowing about open source called leader line. Okay, so, so sometimes when you are using ChatGPT, it actually brings some interesting insights you were not knowing about. See here if I type leader line. So leader line is an open source. If you just Google it and put it in a Google, so you can, if you want to see what are the variations it does, so leader line does a lot of things. You can actually, or you can directly go to GitHub also, and then it shows you what are the different things it can do. A lot of diagramming to use it. So the bottom line is when you are using ChatGPT or tools like Gemini, you can possibly, it helps you to get a lot of information that you are not knowing about. Okay, so this is one example where you can actually use it for generating your own code. Of course, you have to go on adding, because sometimes I think you must you have to check that code also to see. Okay, so you can say remove the connection not working. This should be auto, not important. So this is again technical language, by the way, because see, when you are using Gen AI has to understand the technical, and you should be a technically competent person. Because, for example, here not important is only the person who understands the CSS can do it. Okay, so okay, so this is auto import, or some technical, like if it makes some technical mistakes, you can actually leave it. Say rectangle should not move if the dragging from the circle. So what was happening, like when if I am dragging something, so it was like this one. Okay, so that was happening. So of course here you can add a lot of this one. So here, uh, if as a teacher you want to do some quick, especially those who are teaching programming language or some kind of concept, I think you can quickly create some kind of prototype and demonstrate the student. Hey, like if you want to teach programming by example, I think Gen AI is going to help you a lot, because you don't have to write the code from scratch. So you want to explain, as I told you, object-oriented concept. You can just create a small prototype in C++ through ChatGPT, run it in front of student, and explain the code. You can explain like what are the friend classes, what are the inherited classes, what is the multiple inheritance, what is an encapsulation. All these things can be done easily. This one. So okay, so any questions? I think I see a lot of anything.
So just one question. Can you please slow down your pace, because I feel that it's bit fast for us.
Okay, okay. So, so what I think then maybe I think these people can share. Professor Vandana, you can share the present. Yeah, this one. I don't know. Are you going to share the recorded sessions? The technology will help
Yeah,
you. You can
I
actually
think
reduce my
it will
speed
be
by
shared,
some
sir.
70. PPT I will definitely share. PPT is not a problem, but there are a lot of things actually I explain as a part of this one. Sorry, actually my pace of teaching is a little bit faster, and for non-technical user it may be finding. But what I'm trying to explain, you can actually use Gen AI to improve your productivity, to make the student, learn better, substantiate a lot of content, because a lot of things are available online. You don't have to reinvent. Only how you can actually connect them together, how you can put it together and make your students better, and your this one. And as I told you, see why programming is important, because you can actually explain the concept using some kind of diagrams or some kind of much easier rather than just speaking theory. Because since I am although I'm a PhD in computer science, but my teaching has been more applied, because in NIBM I talk to bankers, and when you teach to people in more applied, you must start with an application and go backward. Most of the times what we do, we go bottom up. We tell the student the concept first. Need not be, you can say, like, take a case study. When we teach a case study, what is the advantage of case study? You can actually explain the student how this, like this Starbucks case study, this one. So this is interesting, like you I don't know whether I have it right now ready, but let me check it. Or I will have on some slide. I include a lot of, just give me. See, I have a lot of case studies links. Okay, so this is a Starbucks. So if you see my case study, this is Asian Paints, this is UPS, this is Starbucks case study. Can you hear the voice?
No, sir. I
No,
think you have
no,
to
sir.
stay with audio, sir.
I will just
But
stop
resharing
sharing
that.
and I'll just, I think voice is not shared. So I just share some.
Starbucks. Starbucks is,
Yes, audible, sir.
of course,
So basically, what's the purpose of this case study showing in my class is let the people understand how IoT these people are using, how blockchain their people are using, and how AI. This is an interesting case study to explain to students what is an IoT, what is an AI, why blockchain is very important in this case, and how they have done the personalization using AI. I think you must be knowing this person is a Satya Nadella, right?
defined what our morning coffee experience is. And at this point, one of the things that's so exciting to see is the software engineers at Starbucks, their ambition, their collaboration with their colleagues in the business side and product managers and marketing. They're coming together to completely take what is that iconic experience of Starbucks and incorporate digital throughout. Everything from what they're doing with blockchain and sustainability, IoT and the coffee machines, as well as AI. And to really give you a glimpse of this, let me throw to the show floor to our team to show you what the Starbucks engineers are dreaming up and making real.
Today we're going to show you 3 things Starbucks are doing to better connect with their customers and enable their personnel. Firstly, create more intelligent customer experiences with an internal AI platform called Deep Brew.
I'll just share this link on, you guys can see it later. We don't have time. But basically, what is something take home from such case studies? So can you use personalization in education? For example, can you curate the content? Can you just show, say, for example, if somebody is doing mechanical engineer, now for mechanical engineer, what is an IT which is very important? For electrical engineer, for CSE, because when you are teaching, CS computer, suppose you are teaching the programming to mechanical engineer, you are teaching the programming to electrical engineer. You have to change because you have to give examples which are very suitable to that particular domain, right? I cannot just take the same example. So, what is something like when you are doing customization or using AI? In fact, ChatGPT even can help you. Like if you ask, can you just create some C++ code for an object-oriented concept for my mechanical engineers? Can you just take some relevant in logistics kind of thing? So that means when you are teaching, teaching programming itself, you can teach from a different context. If somebody is a BCom student, somebody is from art background, and if you want to learn, I think you have to customize it based on the audience. You cannot just have same thing, and I think that's why you can use AI, for personalization and this one. Okay, so I can take some questions, and then I think I have one more session, so I can continue, over there. Okay, so I can take up some questions if you are having that.
Okay. So, dear participant, if you have any question, please put the questions in a chat box. Sir, one question is there actually in a chat box. How can we use AI to create an LMS or modules that automatically check quizzes, assignments, and provide feedback to students?
Okay, see, here again, one of the things I'll just show you. See what happens. Like what ChatGPT right now I'm using in more web mode. Okay, but Open AI is available through this one also, API driven. So what we do, so I'll just show you a quickly one software that we got it done by ChatGPT, so that it will give you idea, and then you can possibly integrate it like that. Just one minute. Right. So look at this video. This is just one. Here, what we have done, we have developed a code which actually from just description, it just creates a complete, application. So suppose you are develop, if you want to develop your own LMS system, you can still get it done through ChatGPT. But you have to have a lot of patience, and you need to have some good guy who understands the code. And you can say, for example, suppose and you have to use a lot of APIs. Like this software that I'm showing, we are using Open API. Like, if I just go to Open, see, there are two modes where you can use Open AI. So if I just go to my pricing and, okay, my one minute, yes. Okay, if I just go to billing, see, my balance left is $11.87. So what exactly you have to do in order to integrate your, suppose you created an LMS system. Now you are using ChatGPT to create a, like piece for you. So you have to use APIs. You have to actually make those APIs, make the prompt engineering and everything. So what demo I am showing, we have already made a prompt engineering for pre-built. So I'm just giving just creating the what is what does this mean? Like we have spent time on creating a complete prompts which actually understand the description of the software. It actually creates a data schema for us. And from a data schema, it creates a complete, even it creates a dashboard and everything. We have created even a simple code for this. These dashboards are created by ChatGPT. So here, what you need to do, you need to sit and then first develop. This is the first LMS system you want to create. Then in LMS system, what you want, like you want to MCQs, you want to have a descriptive, you want to have content uploading. Second step is like once you have operational system is in place, next thing you have to see how you can use ChatGPT's NLP to see checking MCQs is not a difficult part. You can get the code done by ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT. I'm actually having, it's my software should be able to add a new quiz. Software should give me option to enter my keys. Like there are 4 options. These options can be like one at a time. So you can specify, and you can tell ChatGPT you create a now like a code for me. Whenever a candidate gives a exam, it should automatically give me the score by checking whether the key is matching. This is a pretty simple. But now, if you want to say, tell ChatGPT, after like I want to create a like just I showed a descriptive brief questions, and you want to check it too. So there you need to use APIs. But if you have a good tech guys with you who understands, see, you need two guys. One guy who understands how to use ChatGPT or Gen for any tool, Meta or whatever, and second is like your content should be ready. Okay? So all these things I think should be with you, this one, and you can get the things done. Or other thing is if somebody has already developed some tool, you can use. There are a lot of tools people are created, especially edutech companies, which are actually uh, helps to create the content within specific. But I think professors, one of the advantage professors have, they have a lot of time. For example, I don't know, it depends on your teaching load, but you can be a creative. You can, because advantage is once you create your own software, you can customize based on your requirement. Because if you buy off the shelf software, you are limited by whatever capabilities. And good thing is, all of us have students at our, at our help. Why don't you just train your student on ChatGPT and tell the student, hey, I want to develop this software for you. Let's come together and develop software in a week. And I think if you have some people who understand prompt engineering, who understand a particular programming language, suppose you want to develop it in Java, I think such tools can be developed within a 2 weeks or something. And you can go on customizing based on your requirement. Possible.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next question is, can we give reference of ChatGPT in our research? Is it acceptable?
You can see, for example, only issue comes as a plagiarism. If you are actually see the research that I showed, so what is so here I can say, okay, a lot of results which we acquired. See, even now research, a lot of people, if you are doing the social sciences research, people are getting outsourced to some companies, and that is allowed now in a in a research community. That means, suppose you want to do some social sciences kind of research, you are doing questionnaire, collecting them. So they said, okay, you can hire a agency who will do that job for you. So it's acceptable. So as long as your insights and everything are not, it is not a plagiarism or copied from somewhere, but you have worked on your data by, see, basically, let us take a literature review. Okay, we spend a lot of time on literature review, right? Those who have done PhD, they can understand it. Literature review में कितना time जाता है हमारा. But now, if you just give all research paper to ChatGPT and ask the ChatGPT, can you do a literature review for me? It will do it. Only what you have to do, you have to just go into the content which are generated by ChatGPT and pick them based on your requirement. See, what we are trying to do using AI. What works? A very simple example. If you have used a Digi Yatra at any point of time, so security fellow का काम Digi Yatra कर रहा है. What that fellow does, it checks your Aadhaar card, it checks your face, and if it is matching, he lets you go. Now, can the cameras are doing that? That is okay as long as machines are increasing my productivity, reducing my work. See, of course, what are the other side of this? Your creativity maybe like. See, we'll talk about the downside of the AI. Like one of the problems, like calculators. Calculators have killed our capacity, our capability of doing calculation. So similarly, like I have seen, like some students were short of 80% attendance, and they wrote an email. So three students wrote an email. Their email was 99% similar. That means they have used ChatGPT. This is another challenge for the teachers, by the way. To know whether the content generated or content submitted by the students are generated from ChatGPT or some, But I think, see, people have to accept AI is there and it will improve the productivity. You can do more value at work, right? So literature review people have been doing years and years. Why you want to spend much time now? You just, because finally literature review helps you to find out what's going on where and where is the gap. So if I'm, say, for example, if I take genetic algorithm as a subject, and if I say, okay, tell me what are the latest, or if you take a particular like genetic algorithms in finance, ChatGPT can do a literature review for you, right? It will tell you, okay, this is the researcher has done this. You can value add on, but most of the groundwork can be like coding is good example. It's like generated the code, I work on top of that. But now other issues like copyright or plagiarism that you have to take care of.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we will take one more question only now.
Yeah.
Yes, can we generate synthetic data using AI and can it be used in research work? Can it be used to validate results?
If you listen to a latest this one, if you guys like have time, like recently on Moodle, I shared this with students and you see where the technology is moving. We use Moodle, by the way. This is our LMS system. So I normally communicate students and share my contents over this one. I think this on this. Okay, this one. It's a very interesting piece. I suggest, you can see where the technology is going. Okay, so I showed this as a part of my this one.
So it's day 2 of CES 2025 and the tech world is buzzing. The show is packed with everything from groundbreaking announcements to robots everywhere and AI in almost
Just go through this very interesting presentation on AI, what's happening and where. So one of the like NVIDIA is coming with some chips which can actually create a complete real world synthetic data. Because machines, for example, if you are using GAN network, they also create a lot of data which you can possibly see. So I think it's a one version. Let me check. So which actually talks about respond. This fact. Just give me a minute. Just I just search a link. It is on my WhatsApp. Sorry for my time. So I'll just share this again.
Sir, you may share the link with us. We will let us share it on the WhatsApp group.
So that's interesting. It's taking big time. So what I suggest, I'll send that link to you as a part of that. So it talks about how NVIDIA is actually using AI to generate the synthetic data for deep machine learning as well as machine learning. So it's actually creating. Suppose you want to work on a vision, so it will actually create all the scenarios where you can actually train your software. So there's a lot of applications in that. Yeah, I think we'll stop here, right?
Yes, sir.
Professors go on talking, they have to be stopped,
Okay. No, sir, we have the limitation of the time. Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Rajendra Sonar, for such an enlightening and thoughtful probing session. Actually, it is very difficult to summarize such an insightful session, but I will try. So this session provided a comprehensive overview of how artificial intelligence is transforming the educational landscape. And Professor Sonar highlighted the growing adoption of AI-driven tools and their impact on teaching, learning, and academics. So, Sir has explored the current state of information technology, providing a brief history of AI and machine learning. He also discussed how these technologies are being utilized today and how academies can leverage the AI ML to enhance personal productivity and enrich students' learning experiences. Additionally, he shares the insights from his own experience of using the ChatGPT and demonstrated the practical applications in education and professional development. Your discussion on the current trends and the future of AI in education has truly set the stage for what promises to be transformative week of learning. So, dear participant, I hope you have gained the valuable insights from this session. Please remember to share your reflections and the key takeaways in the chat box. Thank you once again, Professor Sona, for joining us today.
Experience. I think 5 days, right? 2 days or how many days you have?
Sir, it is total 6 days, 20 to 25.
Get as much as possible and implement that also. Okay?
Okay.
It's not only learning, but you should do it. It's good for your students also. मेरा
Yes,
टीचर तो कुछ तो कर रहा है, बातें भी नहीं
Yes,
कर रहा है
sir.
ना?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay.
Sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, feedback link of today's session is shared in a chat box. Kindly fill it. Within 2 minutes, we will resume for the second session. Dear participant, please don't write your details in a chat box. We are going to mark your attendance from the Zoom itself and the feedback link that you will fill.
Dear participant, it's a humble request that you have to rename yourself to mark your attendance. Hello. Hello, Poonam ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Shall we start?
Yes, ma'am. As the next speaker has already joined the session.
Okay, sure. Okay, so we are now ready to begin the session 2 of the AICTE ATAL Faculty Development Program on AI-driven educational technologies for enhanced teaching and learning. The topic for the session is Towards Policies for AI in Education, Ethical and Equitable Approaches. Here is the short introduction of today's speaker. So it is my privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker for this session, Ms. Sonal Temgire, a distinguished professional in the field of AI and technology. She currently serves as a senior technical program manager at MasterCard Pune and brings a wealth of expertise in AI, program management, and technology-driven solutions. Ms. Temgire is SAFE 6.0 certified and has extensive experience as a program manager, delivery manager, and management consultant. Beyond her corporate achievements, she is also a startup mentor, executive coach, corporate trainer, and an expert in interview preparation. With her diverse skill set and deep understanding of AI and emerging technologies, we are eager to gain valuable insights from her today on the importance of developing ethical and equitable policies for AI in education. The stage is yours, ma'am. You may start. Ms. Sonal?
Yeah,
Ms.
thank you,
Sonal.
Poonam ma'am. Thank you, entire KKW team, for this wonderful opportunity. So I'll start with my today's session onto the AI policies. Um, yeah, let me share my screen first.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I'm getting an error saying host disabled attendee sharing.
Wait a minute.
Hello. Yes, Sonal ma'am. Now you are co-host, so you can do the share screen.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now let's able to see my screen now.
Yes,
Yes.
but not in presentation mode.
Able to see at least the PowerPoint presentation. I haven't yet. Yeah,
Yes.
sure. So let's start with an example that you are a corporate person or any person, uh, or it can be a layman also who wants to start his day using AI platform. Now you must have heard of Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, all these tools which are available online, right? Now the thing is like, let's say I am a person who wants to start my day and I don't have time to go through my email, Teams history, and the other communication media which is getting used in the industry. I will simply go to the Teams and the integrated Copilot, or if there is an integration with Gemini or ChatGPT, you can just instruct your Copilot partner to plan your day. So I'll say plan my day. Okay, because I was not having time to go through my email, history, charts, calendar, I will simply ask my Copilot partner to give me a plan. Now, this Copilot will give me a plan within 2 to 3 minutes, saying that your next meeting is daily sync up. Don't take the screenshot. I'm just sharing my office laptop, and uh, I just wanted to have the live example demonstrated in this meeting. So I'm sharing this. Please don't mm, have this information shared somewhere. Okay. Next, if I wanted, next step is, I have a reminder, my own reminder to share the resource status. The third is I have a getty session with TCW team, and the fourth one is I have a make AI thon, right? Now, in addition to my meetings and the calendars, it also gives me a plan saying to whom I need to coordinate today and for what task it is, or what is the agenda of the coordination. So it will say coordinate with Ram and Nikhila, who are my team members, and check their slot for the interview, or check their slot for the coordination with Vishnu. Okay. Now there are some email reply which they wanted me to do. So it will say like, I need to provide the correct addresses to Sushil, I need to review the junior profile, I need to address the project code change, I need to share the test and code review reports for TCW, and I need to ensure the selected resources. So these are from my like day to day activities, what follow-ups or what actions that I need to take in my day as per my mails or the history of the charts which I have on Teams. It is planning my day. So this is the power of AI. I hope everyone has understood the power of AI, right? So it would have took at least 30 to 45 minutes of my day at the initial, where actually I have the maximum productivity in the day, which I have effectively utilized using this Copilot partner. Okay. Now, in AI education, how we can use this Copilot. For example, I have Word, I have integrated Copilot license over here, and I'll ask my Copilot to summarize this doc. Here are some, by default instructions from Copilot. So let's say if I ask to summarize my document, it will give me a summary. Okay. So it just took 2 to 3 minutes, right? Now this doc itself is of 17 pages. To read it out and to summarize it, it just took, few seconds, I would say, right? So this is the power of AI. Now the given uh, content is reliable because they have scanned this document only, right? Now there are like many platforms on social media, like you have Siri integrated with iPhone, where there is a limited content getting access to Siri to work on to your instructions. But here, when uh, there is a large platform, or when you search globally something, then it is difficult to believe on those content, right? And for that you need some policies. Now how AI can actually gather data, because sometimes it is also possible that AI can collect the illegal data, like which is not legally correct for accessing someone. And then we are utilizing that data, we are uh, making some presentation out of data, we are sharing it globally. So to not happen like this, to not happen like this, we actually have come up with some legal laws or policies for AI. Okay, so this is the future AI policies. So we will navigate through the future policies. I'll start sharing from the first slide. If anyone has any question, you can stop me in between, and we can take up the question. Okay. So here are like policies for AI in education. Some of them are ethical and equitable approaches. So when we talk about the AI policies, it is important to know what AI policies, what AI offers, what are the ethical consideration, what are the regulatory frameworks, what are the international landscapes. And then since we all know that AI is evolving, and various countries, various organizations, various regulation industry I mean the regulations are managing the data, and including or integrating the data with the AI technology. Uh, some of the industries have their own regulations to how the data should be processed. Like as just saw, just presented you, the data was only limited to Mastercard and SCL, and then they were making out of output out of that data, right? Similarly, few of the organizations can consider the global data for giving you the output. Now, while scanning the global data, it is uh, they need to follow some regulations, and they need to adhere to some laws, and that is crucial for protecting the rights, privacy, and they need to ensure the fairness while you using that data for the decision making. Okay, I hope everyone is getting what I am trying to deliver, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for confirming. Okay, so I will move on to the next slide, which is like introduction to AI policies. So there are ethical policies. So the European region, the US region, and you know uh, globally, all over, like Sweden, Germany, they have own they have like you know have some restrictions on using the data, for because AI itself is nothing but collection of data and implementing the algorithms, like the linear algorithm to scan the data, or some vertical kind of algorithms to scan the data, and then balancing the result of those data, and uh, have the values created out of that data. So how one industry can make use of that data, how one industry can come up with strategies for their own business, and how can get beneficial output of out of that data, is something that we actually wanted to consider. But that should be on a correct path, using ethical way of doing things, right? So if we talk about the future of AI, obviously we need to adhere to that policies, and we need to take those guidelines into consideration uh, while we are developing any algorithm, while we are using the particular AI in any of the software product, or it can be uh, AI usage for the mechanical industry, AI usage for the educational industry, AI usage for the healthcare industry. Everywhere we need to take care of this. Okay. Okay. Now, what can happen if we don't adhere to the policies? And what is the exact importance of these AI policies? Okay. Now, the first point is addressing bias. What it means by bias? Bias in the AI system. Okay. For example, if I give one input, and on top of that, if someone gives some review or comments in socially, right? It can be a bad comment, it can be a good comment. But to deliver the actual content of my message to the wide world, or when I expect someone to make decision out of the content which I have written over social media, to without taking into consideration of that negative comment, then to avoid that bias, what certain policies have been like evolved, like how those policies are actually taking care of not having the negative data scanned during the output evolution itself, right? So how they are scanning, how they are like filtering the data, and only the data which is like corrective in manner, how they are taking care of that data into consideration, is something where that bias is addressed, and then it is removed from the actual thing. Otherwise we would have come up with many conflicts in a day to day life. For example, if I say something about one matter, the other person will say something different. And that is the reason, sometimes the message given by some CEO is getting, modified, and then some dubbing happens, and using the AI tool, and then, it is getting delivered into wrong manner. Because sometimes, since this AI itself is evolving, and these policies are not yet strong, so few people are taking advantage of this, and trying to mess up with the data which is available, right? So that is something. So the first importance of the AI policies is to address bias, and to remove those biased content from the actual decision making, uh, in the actual decision making process, right? Now, ensuring the accountability. So we need to have the clear AI policies to establish the accountability, where AI developers or AI users, or any industry trust who is using this AI application can believe and can take the ownership of the content which they have published, right, in the market. So for example, if I just asked Copilot to plan my day, right? Now Copilot has given me certain steps, certain plan for my day. Now, since I have asked Copilot to plan my day, I should check that content, and I should take the ownership, or the I should ensure the accountability of that content, right? And it is for my personal use, so I should not publish it anywhere, right? So even if AI is giving you much advanced benefit, you should understand what matter you should publish, what matter you should not publish, what is for your confidential purpose, right? So you need to understand that gap, where you have to keep it confidential. For example, there are certain content which can go to market just by clicking some link, right? Someone can hack your computer, someone can hack your mobile, and that is the reason you need to be very alert, and you need to have all the contacts, all the legal laws you should be aware of, like if certain event happens, what steps you should take, right? That kind of thing. Now, promoting the transparency. So what is the actual use of AI? For example, I am unaware of one uh, field. For example, chess. I never just assume that I have never played chess, and now I wanted to understand the chess strategies. How Gukesh became world champion. What are the hidden strategies of chess which one can make use of? If there is uh, some strategies that can be only used for one time or two times in a chase in one game, what are those strategies? Now, to have these information and the transparency while having this information, because this information will be collected uh, with the help of the global data, right? Someone must have written somewhere, or someone must have published onto YouTube channel. So there is a content available on a global platform, and that I need to access, right? In such case, the transparency of the AI has to maintain, and it is crucial for one to understand and trust the content that you are getting from this platform. Okay, now to trust on to the content, obviously, as I said before, you need to verify the content which you have got from the AI result. Okay, and as I already mentioned, the protecting privacy, which is fourth point, it means you should understand, and you should have those understanding of the private data and the public data, right? If you have access some private plan, or private emails, right, you should not publish it somewhere, right? You should protect that data for your own use. Okay, next one is key components of AI policies. So this is something like data usage, guidelines, algorithm, transparency, ethical consideration, and accountability mechanism. So what this is exactly? Okay. Has anyone have ever searched for the ethical policies of AI? Has anyone has came across like data laws, data privacy laws?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So generally in industry, once at least the software industry has some mandatory trainings about data, about code, about compliances, about policies, and it is mandatory to get those trainings completed at least once in a year. Now, what is the use of listening the same content again and again over the year? Because they wanted to have the awareness created in their employee. Okay, on a yearly basis, sometimes even they conduct some quizzes around those data laws and all. So sometimes they conduct some games to educate their employees about the data policies and all. Okay, now what they actually wanted uh, to get out of that, they don't want to have anyone leaked their information outside. That is the first reason. The second one, they actually wanted to have all laws educated to their employees, so that there won't be any uh, data theft. Okay, or there won't be any compliance issue. For example, they should not use their private data outside. They should not uh, actually have some money laundering while recruitment or something. So all these kind of mandatory trainings are there in the industry when you join any software industry. Okay, so these are called as the process related trainings. It means like how you should behave internally in organization, and at least some maximum percentage, sorry, minimum percentage criteria is there for passing out that training. Okay, so similarly, in future, there is going to be a AI related trainings, AI compliance related trainings, AI policy related trainings, AI process related trainings, where they will make sure that if my employee is using any of the AI platform, for example, I'm using Copilot licensed version for me to smooth my work, to plan my day, to uh, to actually effectively make use of my time and decision making process, right? So how to use those platform related to that, it will be a training. Okay, so here first is data usage guideline. So as I explained, there is already a training present in the industry for the data laws, like how the data should be accessed, utilized, promoted, published, and you know, uh, like how if you are allocated to one project, and let's say if that project gets over, you are not allowed to use the same laptop without formatting to the other project, right? Or either you need to surrender your first laptop and then get the new laptop for the new project. Now it is not like that your laptop is not capable of doing the second project work. It is like your second client network should not access the first client data. Okay, so for that reason, actually these trainings of data is getting conducted. Now the algorithmic transparency. What is algorithmic transparency? So basically, now this AI actually scanning the data and making the decision, and taking the ownership of scanning data, and actually acting as a guide for you, then it should be a transparent. So AI should share with you what all references that the tool or the application has scanned, and those references you can check whether those are trustworthy, or some fake news have been considered by AI to get you that result. So you must have heard of the prompt engineering, right? So what is the prompt engineering? Let's say our teacher sometimes gives you instruction. Now it depends on the instruction, uh, right? How much is the correct instruction that your teacher gives you, and what is the intention behind that, and how much it is clear to you, right? Uh, Based on that, your response to that instruction matters, right? Similarly, to AI platform, while writing the instruction, how clear instruction you are giving to your AI application or AI tool matters, because based on your clear instruction, the data will be collected by your AI platform, and then based on that you can make the decision, right? Sometimes even for the decision making, you can ask your AI to you know summarize the decision for you, right? Or to uh, give you the true and false category of the summarized data, right? What should we do, like we have, right, do's and don'ts. In that format you can ask your AI application, the collected data is true or false, or what corrective action on this particular scenario. So such type of instruction can be given to AI. I am myself is AI certified for the business leadership. Okay, so I have tried all these platforms on even on a day-to-day basis. I'm using this platform very effectively. For example, I am rejecting one person. Okay, after the uh, interview. Okay, now that person is junior, and I don't want to hurt that person because he is not capable. It is very obvious that the junior person who is not came to industry yet is not aware of the industry standards and uh, industry culture, and that is the reason he got rejected. Okay, now I wanted to give that reply to him in a mail, and I don't have time to write lot of content, so I'll make use of the AI platform. Let me again share this, and I'll say write a mail to Vaishnavi for correcting technical concepts in next opportunity. For this interview she is rejected. So I'll ask for a formal email to Vaishnavi, to Copilot, because I don't have time, right? So it will give me a subject saying feedback on interview for .NET developer position. Okay, I can like modify, since my data already has Vaishnavi named resource for the .NET shortlisting. It has given me the subject, but here you can change the technology if you want. Now it is giving, Dear Vaishnavi, I hope this email finds you well. Thank you for taking the time to interview for the .NET developer position at Mastercard. We appreciate your interest in the role and the effort you put into the interview process. After careful consideration, we regret to inform you that we have decided to move forward with the other candidate for this position. While we were impressed with your enthusiasm and background, we believe there are some technical concepts that need further refinement. So here, if you want to add some more, then you can take use of you can make use of this default prompt to summarize or list, or draft some more response point into this. Okay, so I hope you got the understanding of the AI platform, right? How it makes easy for you to respond to individual within some minutes of time, rather than actually drafting, thinking of the content, actually, uh, if if your English is not good, and if you don't want to spend some time in just giving the feedback to junior, sometimes it happens, right? Some people just respond in a one line saying this Vaishnavi has been rejected, right? But since I don't want to lose the candidate in further rounds, or if there is any further opportunity within my organization, I don't want to lose the experience which candidate has gained in his or her first interaction with my industry, right? So that way you can handle it very carefully. Okay, so these are some uh, you know key points to take away. Now I'll reshare from current slide. Okay, so this is like incorporating the ethical consideration in AI development, meaning logically handling the situation, making use of the ethical way to respond someone, and obviously it will help create values and norms, right? Now the next one is accountability mechanism. So what is accountability? As I explained you, AI should take the accountability of the references which the application or tool has scanned, and accordingly, their developers, for example, Copilot team will have their own Microsoft developer for writing the AI application, right? And Gemini will have their own Google developers to write and come up with the content for the same prompt which you, for example, I have given one prompt to Microsoft Copilot. The same prompt if I give to Gemini, or same prompt if I give to Chat GPT, there will be a different content altogether that I'll get. Why? Because there is a different team who actually provided them or developed their own or algorithm on how to scan the data, what output that one should see after the query, right? That way, basically, this differs. So that is the reason one should take the accountability. For example, if Copilot is giving the result, somewhere Microsoft team should take the accountability of the algorithm that they have designed, and that is the reason that we are getting such output out of that. Now, since these are all competitive tools, one day the tool which is more competent enough to give the result will be the a globally acceptable tool for the implication, right? Next one, ethical considerations in AI. So if we talk about the ethical policies of AI, then obviously the ethical policies expect the fairness, the accountability, transparency, and as I said, it will be definitely having the impact on jobs and society. As I gave you example of Vaishnavi, right? Uh, Any question, anyone? Okay. So actually, the ethical consideration in AI, where we expect the fairness, accountability, transparency, and their impact on jobs and society. So as I already gave this example of Vaishnavi to you people, you must have understood how it is impacting individual, right? If you respond it using AI, what is the impact, or what is the impression that one will have, right? And what if you are just saying that candidate is rejected? Some years ago, when we were a junior, we were assuming that we have got rejected if HR didn't respond to our email, right? If we fail to get the response of the HR within 2 weeks or 3 weeks of time, it means we are rejected. That way we are assuming it, right? But now with the help of AI, it is very easy to respond back, right? You can have some algorithm in the background saying that if can someone please go on mute if there is no question? Uh, yeah, can someone please mute the person who is. Okay, I'll mute from my end. Kalyani, I don't think Kalyani has some uh, question. I am just muted her. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you must have understood, right, how it is impacting to jobs and society. And now you must have heard of the stock market also, right? How it is impacting to stock market. You must have, and by now you must have came across some uh, indicators of the share market, right? Where AI is actually scanning 30 to 40 indicators at the same time and making the decision of sell and buy activity, right? So to take these decisions, the AI algorithm should be capable enough to at least have some passing criteria of those indicators, so that it should not be like at least 80% of the time or 70 to 75% of the time your buy and sell activity should be profitable, right? Otherwise it will be of no use, right, if you are making a loss. So this way, right, I mean, on a day to day activity, your AI application usage has the impact on your daily life, right? So by that means, I wanted all of you to make ethical use of AI for your for your day to day activity. You should understand how transparent it is, and since these tools are still evolving, I would request all of you to verify the content before you make use of it. Okay. Fairness and bias I already explained. And now, what are the mitigation strategies in case anything goes wrong, right? So, for example, if there is any biased data which has got published, what if there is, any discriminatory outcomes, and you know AI system is responsible for that. So there should be some mitigation strategies for that, right? For example, if your junior makes mistakes, some senior candidate should take the ownership of correcting that mistake in a timely manner, right? They should take the ownership as a team to correct such matters. So in case of AI also, since these tools like Copilot, ChatGPT, and their own organizations, since they are like making use of the data from a different references, they should have the mitigation strategies with them, right? So these are some regulatory frameworks which are like evolving they are still, correcting their regulations, laws onto the AI output. So they are continuously evolving at a rapid space, and they are like making sure that safe AI content is will be used in the market, and they are putting some ethical guidelines in their regulatory framework. So in Europe they have one act, and they did the risk based category of the uh, AI system, and they have like mentioned the potential risk to the society, and based on that, they prepared one act, and they have also mentioned the high risk applications, like, and they strictly avoided usage of those applications in the society. Okay, so the act is aims to create and have the framework to regulate the AI technologies across the all the member states, right? So European EU is European, and so European who are is actually taking care of all those member states which are belongs to them, right? And they're making sure that their framework will only make use of the AI technologies which are not risk based, right? And they're avoiding the high risk applications in their territory. Similarly, US approach to AI regulations, right? So in this also, US is having their own regulations where they also involves their respective agencies, and they are also like when I talk about the respective agencies, it means there were some legally agencies that they have for acting on to the data theft, how the data getting utilized. For example, in India you can get these calls of personal loan, credit card and all, but in Europe or US you have that legal regulation, or the act, where they cannot share your personal number directly to any of the agency, and if that get caught, then there is a penalty to that particular agency, right? So that is the reason that noise in your everyday life will be avoided. And actually these regulations and acts allows you to more focus on to your own work, right? It actually helps you balance your work life balance, right? So that way you should make and consider these ethical laws uh, very strictly. Yeah. AI governance model. So as AI has their own models to scan the data, similarly, AI also has the governance model. So what it means by governance? So for example, I am a project manager, and if I get one project which is like AI based, and my client is asking me to have some reports uh, generated, or some reporting schedule, like how many defects your AI application has, or what model or module that you have taken into consideration in this particular iteration to develop. So any weekly reporting plan or bi-weekly reporting plan is called as the governance plan, where you report to your client about the risk, dependencies of your project, or uh, I mean, overall status of your project to your client, right? Similarly, the AI also has its own governance plan. So, as I explained you, for project, it has some governance plan. Similarly, AI usage also has the governance plan, where the government is involved, right? Not the particular project team, but the government itself is involved, and they are influencing these regulatory agencies, and they're connecting members, and they are like having the bifurcation of the public collaboration, private collaboration, public content, private content, what content should be used, what not to use, what is for the education purpose, what kind of personalized data can be used for the hospital therapy and all can be uh, addressed in this governance plan. Okay. Similarly, as I explained you the project example where your stakeholder will get engaged. For example, if you have got any AI based project to develop, and as a project manager or a person from the management team, you have been asked to share some confidential reporting about your AI application, it is also need to understand and ask to your team, or have that confirmation or the agreement from the team itself before you actually submit or share the confidential information of the development to even to your stakeholder. Okay, so there should be some policies and the engagement policies of your client, uh, discussed and decided internally first and agreed by your own management, before you actually engage your stakeholder into that. Okay, so accordingly AI policy has to be developed for the individual project also, and the best practices internal collaboration, like we have the internal collaboration, similarly the states and the European regions, US region, and the the across globe, it will be a international collaboration, just to make sure and understand and align all the states, uh, and take the ownership of the uh, AI output across the countries. Okay, so here we have the comparative analysis of the AI policies. So when it comes to the comparative meaning comparison, right? As I mentioned you, like if Microsoft is supporting Copilot, and if you provide one prompt to the Microsoft channel, the other prompt to, I mean, the same prompt to Gemini, then there will be a comparative results that you can get, right? I mean, the different result later you can compare, right? So you need to focus on to the content first. You need to first analyze the content and make sure that these are in line and accepted globally, right? So you should make fair use of the technology, and you should make guidelines. You should have some standards globally defined, like we have for data and all. Similarly, just 1 minute. Any questions so far?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, I was just having some water. I think only few slides left, and then we can. So it is.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, if you want to take a break for a minute, you can take, ma'am. No problem.
No, no, that's okay. Thank you so much. So this is particularly like about the organization, about the industries who are like acting as the key organizations for this AI policy development. So there are certain guidelines that each organization follows for creating the content, and across the border these policies are getting followed. Okay, now what is the future direction for AI policies? So when we think about the future of AI, it is like it is fruitful as well as dangerous. Okay, so if you make use of AI ethically, for your day to day activity, and for the benefit of all, then it is like, very good future that individual will have with the AI technology. But at the same time, few of the hackers are making use of AI to steal your information. Like they will have some financial data stolen with them, and then they will approach to you saying that they already have got their data and they wanted to make some transaction using some platform with you. Otherwise they will uh, kind of uh, what we will say, like, they already have their data, and that is they are like trying to lose your confidence to get some transaction done, get your money stolen, right? So that way also people can make use of this AI. And there is a need of these ethical policies in place where such activities will not happen in the market in the globe. And one can believe onto these technologies. They can inclusively can make use of these technologies in equitable access, and they can actually can present all these data to any of the community, and there should not be any community conflicts happen. um, or there should not be any uh, conflict of interest happens in the community. Okay. Emphasizing inclusivity, meaning across the border, when we share some result of AI, and we actually wanted some message to pass on using the AI output. There can be positive or negative impacts of the same data can happen on to the diverse community. So let's say I am from India, can understand the content in different way than the US people, because they will have some you know uh, they will have some different background of that information, uh, which is passed on from their historical people to them. So there can from an inclusive perspective, the diverse representation of data should not make any conflict in the community, right? So there should be some inclusive policies in the education, so that the seed will be planted during the education will only, and the people will have that maturity when they come, and when they make use of these applications in the industry also, and in their life also. Yeah, as I mentioned, there are different challenges. For example, privacy concerns, right? Since anyone can access the data globally, and these tools are like accessing it from any of the reference link. It is like without these policies we cannot survive. And there are privacy concerns, the security threats which comes along with this, right? So the rise of AI technologies actually poses significant challenges to the employment, to the life, to the job security, to the workforce adaptation. So there is a necessity of these policies, of the equitable approaches, right? We have the different case studies, but we'll respect to the time. And I think few case studies you can try it on your own, which I have showed you, right? You can check the output on Gemini. Gemini is totally free with the Google account. So you all must be having the Gmail account, right? You can just go and try the Gemini platform. You can check how prompt is responding. You can like have the different platform tried out. For example, resumes.io, which is like AI platform for building the resume. The second one is, I guess, like Naukri also, we have some AI platform where people used to put their uh, profiles, and they used to mention their skill set, and accordingly AI will find out the job for them. though bigger industries have not opted for that option yet. The smaller startups and mid-scale industries have started using those platforms because these are some free platforms available to them, and giving very catchy and impressive profiles using those tools. So these are some tools which are like very beneficial to get the needed skill in your industry. Okay. Yeah, so the successful implementation or the successful policies we will be able to see when it is accepted globally. It is not you know having any conflict in any of the community, and it is demonstrated the balanced life, balanced technology, balanced result, and it can be marked as or considered as the benchmark policies, right? So countries that have implemented these AI policies acts as the benchmark for the others. Now these policies have to be evolved uh, in a rapid space, because the technology advancement itself is in a rapid manner, right? So one result that you have got before 30 minutes with the same prompt, you will not get the same result, because uh, AI is actually scanning data, and after every 30 minutes, 20 minutes, it will scan some different link and will provide you that particular result, right? So from that perspective, your regulatory organization or the regulatory act should check the result which you have got after every query that you have, or the every prompt that you have given to your AI application. Okay, with that I am finishing it. Thank you very much. Anyone has any question?
Ma'am, I have a question. Y- You mentioned about AI implementation in education and mechanical engineering. So can you brief on that? Because I'm basically from mechanical engineering background.
Okay, okay. So just today we had one session on to the Mech-A-thon. So where the lot of people from the mechanical industries have came to the SCL and the Mastercard team, and they have explained like on a day-to-day basis what sort of problems that they are facing, which is like consistent in nature, and almost every time the input is same, but they are facing challenges because of the manpower, because of the different strategies that individually is using, and they wanted to have some guideline prepared for them. Okay, now with the every job that they are getting in the mechanical industry, they wanted to have some guideline created, but they wanted to have that guideline as per the global understanding. Global understanding meaning like how the Japanese industries are taking those jobs, uh, and how they are like uh, avoiding, or like not wasting too much time to do the same task which India team is taking a lot of time, right? So from that aspect, they have given some certain inputs to us, and our team is working on that. Uh, uh, so basically, from a mechanical industry, we wanted to be very specific about the problem statement that they have, and accordingly we can make use of their CAD CAM, and those plotting architecture and all, to make the AI decisions for them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Dear
Anyone else?
participant, please take the moment to share your thoughts and take away from this session in the chat box. If anyone is having question, you can directly ask to ma'am.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, anyone has any question?
Can you say any problem statements in mechanical which you might have come across?
I'll have to go through that session again, okay, because I was parallelly busy with another meeting, and I was really interested into gearing up for Mechathon. If anyone is interested, I'll share more info with the KKW team. But I think SCL is planning to have big mega hackathon to explore and infuse the AI solution in mechanical engineering. So they actually wanted to have some initial screening of the ideas which are registered with them, and they actually wanted to have one uh, ceremony and the ideas from this industry where the automation and Gen AI practice can be implemented. So from that aspect, actually one mechanical team has came and they have arranged big mega hackathon actually. I will share the screenshot if anyone wants to
Which place is
participate.
that?
I think
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a small doubt. Is Smart
uh,
Hackathon and Mega Hackathon both are different?
sorry.
Smart India Hackathon is different or Mega Hackathon is different?
Yeah, these are different one because the this is internal to SCL, and I will let all you know. Okay, let me paste for you people's reference maybe. I think the screenshot is not getting added into the chat room. I'll share it on a WhatsApp group. Ma'am, please add me on a WhatsApp
Or
group.
you can paste it in the chat box, Sonal.
I am
Or you
trying
can
to do
share the
that.
screen. You can share the screen. We'll take the snapshot.
Okay, let me do it for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, one more
Okay.
question.
Yeah,
One
so
more
this
question.
is the detailed plan. Okay. We had the awareness session today, and then the event registration and the winning competition will start.
Okay. Can I connect to you offline, because maybe if feasible, our college students can also would be interested, maybe in this time or next time.
Sure,
Can
sure, sure.
Okay, your contacts I think I'll get from organizers.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, one more question. Like now people are talking of, even AICT is talking of integration of AI in all engineering curriculum. They are coming out with the model curriculum and policy. What do for example, mechanical engineering, as you know, the computer science engineers are somewhat better in terms of getting the jobs. Whereas mechanical engineering, what do you think? What skills are required? Because even manufacturing requires some software skills present in like cloud, awareness of cloud, knowledge of cloud. So what skills should be important so that placements of mechanical students can be increased? And what skills you suggest us to impart as part of curriculum as well?
Yeah, so from that perspective, actually, every engineering is, if you are like in having that innovative mind, so it will not matter, right, whether you are from mechanical, because some people have that, innovative mind which works into their mechanical strategy, where whereas some people has that from a computer I mean, from a computer perspective, they can contribute more. So it actually, I'll recommend, wherever you are, just be sure that you are not doing any donkey work. You are contributing to some innovative things. Okay, you keep on trying something new. So for example, if you are a project manager of the old industry, if you don't upgrade yourself to the AI technology, and if you don't make use of this AI efficiency AI uh, features that are available you for the uh, daily work. For example, I was spending 2 hours of, or at least 1 hour of my day earlier to read out all the emails or to go through those Teams messages to understand and plan my day, right? Now, with the help of this Copilot, I am able to do it within few minutes, right? So, as a project manager, if I haven't upgraded myself to those tools, I would not have been made any difference in the strategy, right? Since my time was like saved, a lot of time was at least 5 to 6 hours in a week, which comes almost one productive day, right? Which is getting saved. That is the reason I'm able to contribute to the multiple activities, like getting participated into this FTP program, getting participated into some hackathon program, right? So I think innovative mind can uh, is the better answer for your question, be it in a mechanical, be it in a computer. Just that you don't do the donkey work.
Okay, thank you. And this hackathon is still open, right? Maybe
Yes,
I'll try to connect to you. Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you resend me paste the link in the chat box, please?
For what?
For mega hackathon.
I'll give you the content, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Because that link is not getting copied.
It's open to all engineering students or mechanical.
I'll have to check, but there were some
Okay, we'll go through the web or something. Okay, we'll try
yeah,
to,
yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
try to connect to you.
Yeah, and there is one more session that I'll have in next few days. So I'll come up with the more, detailed information of this hackathon.
Okay, you can share it to the organizers so that
कुठलं
in
गरम की थंड थांब मोटर लावते मग
Okay. Yeah, anyone else? I'm sorry, I'm directly, keeping people on mute, but I just wanted to save everyone's time, and I don't want everyone to have late dinner because of noise. Okay. Any other question, anyone?
Nothing more, but I'm Dr. Naveed. I was 14 years into IT industry. Then I came into mechanical and teaching. So I think what the students need to learn is the locomotive skills, confidence in using the machines,
Yeah,
and being,
true.
without that, they just cannot survive on just knowledge they get from AI.
True. I think the interest, whatever field it is, the interest is the key to get the success. If you find something interesting, just go and dig it down. Yeah. I think I'm done from my end. If there is no more questions, I'll hand over to the KKWIEER team. Thank you.
Yes, Sonal. Thank you, Sonal.
Yeah.
Now we reach towards the end of the session for the day one. Thank you very much, Ms. Sonal, for an engaging and insightful sessions. These sessions provide a thorough and provoking discussions on the role of artificial intelligence in shaping the future of education while ensuring the fairness, transparency, and inclusivity. You emphasize the importance of establishing the robust AI policies that align with the ethical standards and equitable practices. The key points you covered during your sessions that are ethical AI in education, equity and inclusion, data privacy and security, then governance and policy framework, and the most important, what is the future of the AI in the education. This insightful session enforce the energy for developing the AI policies that foster the trust, inclusivity, and responsible innovations in the education. So thank you once again, Sonal.
Thank you,
And the
ma'am.
feedback link for the today's session is already shared into the chat box So dear participant, kindly fill it. Have a great evening and thank you all for your active participation and enthusiasm. Thank you, Vana.
Excuse me, ma'am. Actually, the earlier form was showing that as we have given the response for the first session, so it's showing that we have already responded and not making login again. So, will you please share again the new link, or we need to again at the same, but it's not accepting? What we should do in that case for the second session feedback?
Ma'am, then you have to use it some different your email ID.
And how is it possible, ma'am? How is it possible?
How it
We
would
are
possible
not.
because we registered
Yeah.
with one email ID. Yeah, how it would possible? It will not be even accepted if you are
Yes,
using
but
another
we
email
have
ID.
already marked your attendance in the Zoom meeting. So don't worry, ma'am.
Yeah, we have marked. But if you
Link
want the
for
separate
feedback
feedback,
link,
then
ma'am.
you need to share the separate feedback link for every session, ma'am.
Yes, as per the AICTE guideline, we have to share that link as per the session wise, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah, but for
please,
this,
So
for
please
one
note,
day, one link.
everyone please note that the link, feedback link for each sessions will be shared. Yes, from tomorrow.
Okay. Yes, today there is only one link for both of the sessions. Okay.
No, ma'am, I have already shared the first session link. In the
Yeah,
first
ma'am, we
session
have
only.
submitted first session link, but we
It's
couldn't
not
submit
working
the
for the
link.
second session, ma'am.
Second session. We are talking about second session, ma'am.
What technical problem you are facing?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
actually already you have given already response, so it's not accepting this feedback for the second session.
yes, ma'am, exactly.
madam, actually, we got the link for first session feedback.
Ma'am, can you share that link once again?
Create a new
Ma'am,
link.
you have
Please.
to create
Create a new
again
link.
the.
Oh,
Ma'am, you have
okay,
to
ma'am.
create
I will
another
share
link.
both the links again. Wait a minute.
Yes, yes. For each session, you will need to share the separate link, no, ma'am. One link
Yes.
cannot be for all the sessions, no.
Ma'am, I have shared it separate link only. Just a
No,
minute,
ma'am,
I
it's
will
not
share both the
accepting.
links again.
Second time, it's not accepting our response. It's showing that
Facing
you
the
have
same
already
problem for
responded.
all, ma'am. Please kindly do the needful.
Yeah, please do the needful for same.
Yes, ma'am, we are also facing the same problem.
Go to settings and allow multiple responses. Just
Yes, yes. I need to check it. So I will check it tomorrow. Yes, now you fill whatever link is able to fill it. Okay. And don't worry, we have already recorded your attendance in the Zoom meeting itself. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have not received any feedback link in my box, in the chat box.
Yes, sir. Previously, it was just after that, there are so many messages are there. You can just see it in the last messages.
Ma'am, can we leave now?
Hello, yes, ma'am. Finish, you may leave it.
I posted the link, sir. You can check it.
Ma'am, just I have one question. I am Rajna.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, please tell me. Hello, ma'am. You are not audible, ma'am.
Ma'am, can we leave now?
Yes, yes. Yes, thank you all for joining. Have a great day.
Hello, ma'am. I tried to do the setting to accept the multiple responses, but that I'm unable to do that. So
yes, we'll check it and verify, ma'am, by tomorrow.
Okay, so now there is no need to fill anything. We can leave.
Yes. Among these two links, if you fill anyone, it will be okay.